Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renagade Radio and all podcast catchers, Apple, Spotify, YouTube as well. It's the Dark Mark Show. I am Dark Mark, the goth comedian. It's 2022, and my co-host is here, everybody's favorite horror writer, Nicole Six.
Good evening.
How has your New Year's been so far, Nicole?
It's been good. I'm just getting focused on putting out my book of poetry. I started a TikTok, so that's brand new. We'll see how that goes. Trying to get in touch with a younger audience, but I don't really know what that's like. Not that I'm that old, I'm not that young.
You're not getting any younger, but we have a TikTok as well. I have a TikTok, and I don't hit myself in the nuts, and I don't chase cats around, and I don't lip sync to songs. So I don't know what to do on there, but
yeah, you have like 600 views on some of that, so you're doing something right.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I got lost. I got left behind with the Twitch, and now we're on the TikTok, and I know there's something out there that everybody's on that we don't know about. But anyway, enough of that. It's 2022. This is our first show in 2022, and people always ask me, "What is this show about? What is your podcast about?" Because apparently everything has to have some sort of a one-page summary, and our show is the lighter side of the dark side. But basically what it is interesting people in Hollywood. There's certain people you'll only meet in Hollywood hyphenates for the most part, because we always have people that are actors, writers, directors, comedians, all sorts of things. Nicole, today we have the ultimate hyphenates. There's nobody that has more hyphens than this lady. She is an actress, voiceover artist. Wait, there's more. She is a model. She's a burlesque dancer. She's a makeup artist. She's a graphic artist. She's she's a host. She does stand-up comedy. She does theater. She does everything. She's worked from if IMDb is correct, because I don't believe her age, she's worked with everybody from Danny Thomas to Tommy Weisau. It's Joycelyne Lew.
Woo!
Hi, Joycelyne.
Hi.
Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. Is that all correct, what I just said?
Yes, I'm a magician too, though.
Now you tell me. Oh my God, she's a magician. Maybe we'll get a trick out of her. We'll see what happens. But I will tell you, though, if you want some real magic, you need to do what I did. And unfortunately, I don't have that magic touch because it's coming tomorrow based on the delivery. But drink Raze energy drinks. If you want to wake up the right way, and I've tried every energy drink. I've tried Rockstar, Monster, all of them, Bang, all of them. This is the best. Raze energy drinks. I wish I had a can I could show everybody, but I have some Baja Lime coming. A 12-pack. I will have that next week and the weeks to come. It's delicious. Tastes like Baja Blast from Taco Bell. But the best part, 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash. And if you look at the show description on any podcast catcher on YouTube, there's a link where you get 15% off your first case of Raze energy drinks. Trust me, this will wake you up like nothing ever. It's like a slap in the face. It's amazing. Raze energy drinks, RAZE. And I forgot to say, you're a YouTuber too. I missed another hyphen. Joycelyne is a YouTuber who has a cooking show on YouTube. I guess we'll start there, because I was watching a few of those.
It's also on Amazon Prime, but it's called Cooking In with Joycelyne, which is perfect because you can cook in when you're, stuck in your house.
Yes, as most of us are, because of the coronavirus. Although you managed to get some pretty interesting people to your house, including a couple that come to mind right off the top of my head. Our old friend Count Smokula.
Yes, I know you know him, and I have a printing company too called Final Print, and Smokey used to work for me. And I just spoke to him last night, and he said to say hi.
Yeah, tell Smokey I said hi. We got to have him on the show very soon. And because I lost touch with him. I didn't know what he was doing. I think he had some help on. By the way, Nicole, if you don't know who Count Smokula is, and I don't know if our audience does, he is He's he's been around forever. He's the wacky vampire. He has an accordion. He sings. He's wonderful.
And he wrote a hot chocolate song, and he said we should do a music video on this hot chocolate song because I put him on when I was the witch, and he was Count Smokula. And
that was the Halloween show, yes.
He also wrote a song for me when I do my stand-up as Mae West. Well, it's Mae East. It's an Asian slant on Mae West, Mae East.
No pun intended. But
so he wrote a song for me. He always does that. He writes a lot of fun songs.
You inspire him. That's what it is.
So I go, was that an egg roll in your pocket, or you're just glad to see me?
I don't think there's an egg roll in his pocket. I think he's happy to see you.
Oh, I think it could be both. But I'd probably eat it if I found it because I'm an eater.
Well, that's the thing. Now you have this cooking show, and you're cooking hot chocolate and custard and all this stuff, and yet you have this amazing figure, as I said, and you're in such great shape. You have a calendar out. You do burlesque. You do modeling still. How do you cook all of these like sugary, fatty things and still stay as thin as you are?
I don't sleep much. I stay up usually till 3 a.m. almost every night. And then I get up, I do my jazz class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 till 11:30. So I'm like on the go all the time. I'm always hungry. I swear to God, I'm so hungry. I always like to eat things, and I just like things that really taste good. So I like to flavor.
I was going to say, I thought I had a secret for Nicole. Just don't sleep. But no, you're one of these people that just has that metabolism that you can eat everything, huh?
It's true. It's embarrassing. I went out with my dad's friend. I guess he hadn't seen me eat before. And he goes, you could tell me if things are bad. This is serious. You haven't eaten a long time. And I said, breakfast. Really? I had breakfast. He goes, come on, you can tell me. And I was so embarrassed because I had already eaten breakfast, and he thought I hadn't literally eaten for a long time. And he said that. And Alexander Lear, I'm sure you know him, Gemini Manor. Well, anyway, I was at a party at his house last Saturday, and he said, you don't eat anything, do you? And I said, you need to talk to my friend because he'll disagree. Because we were in Palm Springs, and I was eating these cookies, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and my friend goes, why are you not fat?
So, and you don't know why you're not fat.
I guess because I have a fast metabolism.
I guess so. You're one of the lucky ones. And you don't age either. That's the other thing, because I don't want to say what IMDb says is your birthday, but it can't be right.
I know, it's crazy. My girlfriend said somebody put that on there and you can't change it. So I just went, whatever.
So it is wrong.
Well, it's kind of wrong, but whatever. It's kind of interesting though. Oh, I see you now with the better lighting.
Yeah, I forgot to put the light on. I was reveling.
Yeah, what a difference.
I apologize.
Is this
everybody,
good lighting? Okay.
Trust me, I would rather them see the two of you beautiful women than me anytime, but I guess I got to pop in here every now and then. Here's the other thing, Nicole. Who's about the last person you would let in your house to make custard with you? Nicole?
Probably Bill Cosby.
Close. Joycelyne had Andy Dick come in to her house and make custard with her.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I guess Bill Cosby's coming on next week. But how did you get Andy Dick to come on the cooking
my
show?
friend just asked him if he wanted to be on my show, and he said yes. And I didn't even meet him before that, and he was kind of, drinking and stuff.
Oh, you got the drunk Andy Dick.
How did you get Andy Dick to get on your show? I said, well, I just started, and I said, well, I'm good with him because I used to teach kindergarten.
Is that what it is? He's a good kindergarten teacher?
Yeah, his favorite dessert is custard, and I didn't know that, but it just was a coincidence. That's what I was making. And his friend, his girlfriend, I guess at the time, she loved Melanie, the singer. I've got a brand new pair of roller skates.
Right.
And she's a friend of mine. So I called her up and I put them on the phone. It was just a coincidence that all these people, that I know just connected.
You must know everybody in Hollywood. I saw on YouTube there's a roast of you, and there were a few celebrities like James Hong was there, and
yeah, He wanted to roast me. He's getting a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame this year.
As he should.
Yeah.
Nicole knows James Hong, right?
Yeah. I don't know him. No. If you're asking if I know who he is, I know who he is. I don't know him personally.
Well, I've known him since I was a little girl, and I did a lot of things. I did a stage play with him. I've done, movies and that Kung Fu series. I had the actually largest female role ever written, and he was on the show too. So there's a lot of people, there's only so many Asian actors, I guess. And so everybody kind of knows everybody.
Right. Now, let's go back to Andy Dick, who's not an Asian actor, because I want to, before we move on, because I want to talk about Kung Fu, I want to talk about all this, and James Hong. But you said, because I've seen Andy Dick, both Andy Dicks, the straight, really funny, really talented Andy Dick, who was in rehab when I saw him, and very nice, and the drunk, stoned, out of control Andy Dick, who has a propensity to show his penis to people and things like that. Did he get inappropriate because he said he was a little drunk?
No, he actually was perfectly fine, because I guess he really liked my custard. And he messed up on the cinnamon, but he goes, oh, that'll be mine, because he spilled like too much. And then afterwards we went to a party, and I was able to get him a ride to this party that I was going to anyway. So he liked it, so he stayed.
Yeah, that seems like Andy Dick. Yeah, if you can give me a ride, I'll go to the party. Yeah, that sounds like him. But I'm glad it was a good experience that you didn't, because I would imagine probably at that end of the party you would get the other Andy Dick that.
Luckily I left him at the party. Yes.
By the way, pro tip: leave Andy Dick at the party. Trust me on this one.
I mean, I was really lucky that he didn't go crazy, but he was pretty good. He was pouring my custard. He was doing everything. I was giving him instructions.
Well, you say that, but the first half of the video, he's off camera.
Oh, that's because he was drinking vodka. And and I was like, well, I'm just going to start. And I figure, he'll just come on it when he's ready. And then, I guess he wanted to be on the show. So then he just decided to come in the middle. Well, it wasn't in the middle. It was only maybe 5 minutes. I go, I'm just going to start without him, because that's how you do it. You just keep going. And
you were a pro. You got to see this, Nicole, because Joycelyne's in the kitchen, and she's like, well, here's a cooking show, and then you put cinnamon, you do this, and then you hear off camera, it's like, I'll be there in a second. And then
I've met Andy Dick. It's been a story. Andy Dick is a character.
Yeah,
another adventure.
It depends. And we lost your video for some reason, Joycelyne.
We did?
Yes, I'm not sure. There we go. That's back.
Oh, you know what?
Like I say, when he, I hope he gets help for his problems, because when he's straight, he's brilliant. He's very funny and very nice. But he's just somebody that just can't really handle drinking and drugs, it seems like.
I didn't really know this about him, so I just treated him like a normal person. I guess that's a secret.
Because I was on his internet show. I've done comedy shows with him, and he was great, real nice, super guy. And then I've also walked down the street and had him wave his dick at me. So that's kind of the way it goes. But
I missed that.
And this is something that James Hong has never done. Now, you brought up James Hong, and I got to tell you, I went to Monsterpalooza a few years ago, and I was surprised that the biggest line of any celebrity, and he was right next to Rutger Hauer, who got nothing, was for James Hong.
Wow. Well, he's done over 400 movies.
Yeah. So, and I had to Wikipedia him to make sure he was still alive. He's still alive.
Oh yeah. And he wanted to roast me. He actually required, I'm recording, guys.
Sorry.
Just my roommate's walking in.
That's all right.
So I had, Richard Tyson was on my show 2 weeks ago.
Right. From
I just have all these
Cop and Two Moon Junction.
Yes. I actually he called too, and he wanted to be on my show.
So you got
So
all these celebrity admirers.
it's weird. To me, it's kind of weird because, I was like, well, what has he done? I have a printing company, Final Print, and I printed over 13,000 actors' headshots. So I would have people that came in, and I sometimes don't, know who everybody is. And one time I had this lady, and I go, so what do you do? And my friend was dying. She's a regular on Star Trek, and he was a big fan of hers. And he goes, oh my God, you don't even know who she is. But she's very nice. Everybody is. And then one time I went downstairs and I said to this lady, I said, has anybody ever told you look like Karen Black? And she said, I am Karen Black. I said, see, I was right. You look just like her.
Now, what did you cook with Richard Tyson?
To who?
What did you cook with Richard Tyson?
Oh, I made turkey burgers because by the time he got there, they got lost and they were so late and I was so hungry. I said, let's make something. I was going to make a Greek salad, but then I thought, what's fast? Because I'm starving. I was so hungry. I was like, and I made 2 pounds of it and it was gone. It was like, I had to make another whole batch afterwards because everybody ate everything. I was like, where's my food?
Right. That's the
eater.
problem with the cooking shows is that you make the food, everybody's going to eat it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the fun of it though, and it's fun when they eat it on camera and they don't know it's going to be that good. And they're like, this is really good. And so I love those moments. I love, cooking and eating.
What's the one dish that you do really well? Your favorite dish that you
surprisingly, I love spaghetti.
It's not surprising.
I love spaghetti too. Spaghetti is amazing.
I just love it. And, you can put so much stuff in it. I like to put, Italian sausage and ground meat and everything. I just, and I put a lot of spices and fresh basil. I grow it on my windowsill. And so, when you add all these different things, and of course, tons of garlic and fresh tomatoes, by the time you get done, you're like, I can eat a lot of pasta. I know. But remember, Sophia Loren said she owes her figure to spaghetti.
Really?
She said, I owe my figure to spaghetti. Ever since she said that, I went, well, I'm going to just start owing my figure to spaghetti.
I think I owe my figure to spaghetti, and my figure is not like yours or Sophia Loren's, but that's neither here nor there. If you haven't done spaghetti yet, let me make a request that Nicole and I come on and have your spaghetti. That sounds great.
Well, I've done it, but we can think of something fun.
We'll figure something out. Anyway, I want to. By the way, Nicole, and the audience, here's how we met. Here's how I met and we've only known each other for like a month.
Yes.
Because I had what I like to call a cameo, but it's really an extra role in Dustin Ferguson's upcoming movie, Apex Predator 2.
Right.
And I walk in, and this lovely lady is doing my makeup.
I see.
Which, as you can see, is quite a job. I did not have this. So, I was just, naked faced, and she's like, wow, you got really dark circles under your eyes. I'm going to have to take care of that. I'll make you look 10 years younger. And she did.
Don't you just want to have her do that like every day for the rest of your
please.
life?
I would love for her to do. I actually went out to a club with the makeup on because I look so good.
Yeah, he looked good.
I know. It's like, I got to have you do my makeup every day.
And it's funny. I did Richard Tyson's makeup for my show, and he texted me and he said, "Can I get you to do this again for a film or something?" And I said, "Sure."
And once again, if people don't know who Richard Tyson is, he was in Kindergarten Cop is probably his most famous role. He was the villain in that, and he was also in a softcore porn with Sherilyn Fenn that I remember in the '80s. That I caught on cable one time, and it was very steamy stuff. But apparently,
but not as steamy as our turkey burgers. No.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys did with your turkey burgers. Who knows? It may have been a sequel to that movie. But
that was a good one.
So you were born in Culver City. So you've been in LA and Hollywood your whole life.
My parents worked for William Holden before I was born, and so they kind of grew up. I grew up in the Hollywood kind of atmosphere. And my mother did extra work with Marlon Brando. So she kind of got me in right away. I started when I was 3.5.
And was that The King and I?
No, that was later. I was the princess. It gave the speech to Deborah Carr at the very end. Plus, I was in the whole movie. It was about 3 months.
I've never seen The King and I, but it's a very famous movie that now I'm gonna have to watch.
Did Nicole see it?
What?
Have you seen it, Nicole?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're talking the one with I'm gonna say his name wrong.
Yul Brenner.
Yul Brenner.
Well, I was the princess at the very end when she was going to leave to go back to England, and I gave her this whole speech, and then she decides to stay and she hugs me.
And you were just a little girl then?
Yes, that was my first big speaking role, But I've just been doing stuff forever. It's just fun though, and now I'm doing a lot of voiceover things. I have three voiceover things. One is this thing called Neptune 9, and I sent you the picture. I play this thing, Michelle, her name is, and it's called Road Rage Kitty. And that's a really weird kind of 3D sort of interesting series. But then I also have a Disney kind of story. It's a children's educational puppet show, and it's called Imagica, and I play Sally the Mermaid, and that's going to be more educational, because remember, I was a school teacher. I have a credential and I taught preschool, so I know about teaching kids little things. So I go from dark stuff to medium light stuff, and then I have this horror thing called Radio Vault Mystery Theater, and I was doing that last year. I did about 12 episodes, and all different characters, because I have a very, very deep voice, and then I have a very, very high voice too, so I have a lot of different characters, lots of different accents. And then when I do my magic show, I kind of do characters, and even on my cooking show sometimes, I do cowgirls and stuff like that, just all different, because it's all fun, because I think maybe I get too bored with normal things.
Well, obviously, I mean, I hate to tell you, but sounds to me like you've got ADD in the best way possible.
I know, it's kind of weird, because it's like, how can you do all these things when I took a, how you take those career placement tests when you're in high school?
Right.
It came back 99% in practical. They said there's no way you could do all these things, because I wanted to be Betty Crocker. And so here I am cooking, and I'm kind of Betty Crocker, right? And then
they didn't even have YouTube back then.
They didn't what?
They didn't even have YouTube back then.
Yeah. Well, that kind of was an accident. I was doing kind of a commercial for Wolfgang Puck, and he gave me this Novo Pro oven, and they said, can we get a tour of your kitchen? I go, okay. So I go, how am I going to tour my kitchen? So I gave my camera to my actually construction guy, and he was filming me, and I did a tour, and they go, well, what are you going to cook in the oven? I go, oh, I don't know. I'll just make a one pot dish. So I made something, and then they go, what else are you going to cook? So by the end of like a week and a half, people were writing in and going, I bought some scallops. What am I going to do with them? And people started writing. And then I sent and I go, I don't want to do a regular cooking show. I have a magician friend. Let's do one, because my refrigerator broke and I had a hole in my wall. And I said, let's pretend that's a magic portal. You come through the portal. So that was what I did. And it was so popular, apparently in Germany, that my producer of this movie, I just did a movie called Call Me Emmanuel. That was last Monday, but he did a couple different movies, and he said, I want to put this on Amazon Prime. So that's how it all started, with my cooking show.
That's great.
But you never know. You just do stuff that you love, and then people will find you.
And by the way, Nicole, just so you know, all these famous names are going to be whizzing by throughout the show. Did you notice, Wolfgang Puck, we're hanging out, and this is Joycelyne's life.
Well, I did Wolfgang's makeup also a while back, coincidentally.
How extensive was that? Let me ask you a question. Whose makeup took longer, me or Wolfgang Puck?
You. No. But that's because
I had a feeling.
was doing contouring and things,
No, I know. I know.
But I
Yeah.
love doing it. I love making people look beautiful. It's just fun. I cut
But-
hair too. I've cut hair for Kris Kristofferson even. And I did Timothy Bottom's hair once. I've just got so many different weird jobs and I never know who is going to want me to do something. So when the phone rings,
Wait,
don't know.
back. How does Kris Kristofferson contact you to cut his hair? You just
well,
you're
it was
working
for
on, or
CBS.
you were-
It was a job. It was for when he was playing the prosecutor for John Benet Ramsey, that series
The
or
TV
that
movie.
show. And then they just called me and then he just needed a haircut. So I'm the type of person, if you need it and I can do it, I'm just going to throw it in there.
Nice.
Because why not? I think film is a collaborative process and we just want to work together and get it done. And I think it's fun.
Well, it definitely is, and you have done so many TV and movies. So you were really a child actress, and you were on, and this can't be right because this is somebody Nicole has never heard of, but you were on a Danny Thomas show.
Yes, I was with Bob Hope on the show.
You were with Bob Hope and Danny Thomas. How were they?
Well, I was
To a little kid.
6. So I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't like I had a chat with them or anything like that. But of course, I used to watch TV with my parents and I knew, who he was. And later on, I modeled with his wife. We were doing a fashion show and she ran out of lip gloss. And I remember she took butter and put it on her mouth and she goes, "This works." So sometimes
Bob Hope's wife or Danny Thomas's wife?
Danny Thomas's wife. I think her name is Rosemary. I think so. I am not. Yeah, it was for the
she put butter on her lips.
Yes, I remember that. See, I remember these weird things about people.
Yeah, I've heard a couple stories about Danny Thomas that are weirder than that, but I don't want to get into it. But but then from what I understand and what I've read about you, your parents are like, you got to have a real job. You got to have a career.
Oh, that's why I had to go to UCLA and get a teaching credential because they said you can't be in. Well, actually, my mother was okay.
Even though you were successful. It
was my aunt. My aunt, Chinese family. My aunt goes, she's got to go not to a college. She's got to go to a university. And I was like, ugh. So I majored in theater arts. That's what I did. I wanted to be a home ec major and I went to Santa Barbara for home ec, but they didn't have it at UCLA. And all of a sudden I saw my friends on TV and I go, I should be doing this. I got to get back to LA. So that's why I just missed being, on my TV shows and things. So I went back and I said, well, what credits can I use so I don't have to go any longer than I have? You just want to get through it.
Right.
So then I thought theater arts. So I majored in theater arts and I minored in English. Then I started writing. So I actually wrote for the College Board of Mademoiselle magazine. And then I was also writing for advertising and stuff. And then I wrote a script called They Still Call Me Bruce with Johnny Yoon. It was a comedy.
Wait a second. You wrote They Still Call Me Bruce?
Yes.
There's another hyphen. I thought Ross Jeffries wrote They Still Call Me Bruce.
Well, no, I wrote the sequel. He maybe wrote the first one.
Okay.
We did it in Vegas. He was playing at the Tropicana. Oh
Right.
My God. This is another mistake. He took me out to eat the first night and we went to an Italian restaurant. And he literally said to me, Johnny Yoon said to me, "You eat too much." That is embarrassing. He said that. So guess what? From that day forward, he only let me eat smorgasbords, all you can eat restaurants. He would not take me to a regular restaurant.
It's too expensive.
Yes. And I thought I shouldn't have done that the first night because I had to eat everything. I know everything that was served at the Tropicana because we ate there every single day. Because he would do a show and then we would meet afterwards. And then I would end up, having to just go through the script, and then I'd stay up all night and I'd type it and I'd leave it for him. And so then when he got up at 10 or whatever, then we go over the rewrites and stuff. It was like only maybe 15 days in the whole script. And he had already hired 2 regular writers with the Writers Guild. And so he, we argued about how much he was going to pay me, but truth be told, I had never written anything before except in college, but I didn't tell him that. I just told him I had written, because, you know, I figure how hard could it be? But I didn't even know how to do the script margins, but that's when they had typewriters, you know? So I
Right.
said, could you just send me a copy of your old script so I could know the characters? And so I copied the margins from the old script and I just started writing stuff. I don't
With
know,
your meek
comedy
little
is my
girl
thing.
voice. Your meek little girl voice. Could you please give me that script with the margins so I can do this? Yeah. But,
And then he asked me what other movies I'd written, and I was going, shoot, but I did voiceovers of these movies in the Philippines that nobody saw. So I started nailing those names out of all these
Right.
movies. I hadn't really written anything, to be truthful.
But two things here. First, I wish I had the balls to tell a woman, you know what, you eat too much after taking her out. But also, they call me Bruce and they still call me Bruce were parody films of Bruce Lee. It was comedies, a guy like that's sort of a Bruce Lee guy, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And I guess Ross Jeffries wrote one and you wrote one. And by the way, those movies, they call me Bruce, they still call me Bruce, are really good to watch when you're kind of in a haze, which brings me to Nicole to tell us about our other sponsor.
Well, I just ran out of CBD edibles and I'm so upset. I'm waiting for the next shipment. Hopefully it's here soon. But I like to enjoy CBD from Renagade, Kush, and Renagade CBD. I still have some Kush, like I still have some joints, but it's not the same as the edibles. The edibles are delicious. They have real candy, like they're a real confectionist making the candy. So you can tell from the quality. Also, I've tried some bad edibles, and these edibles have accurate labels because they're all done professionally and totally legal. So if you're interested, go to renagadecbd.com or renagadekush.com.
Yes. So, and watch They Call Me Bruce, and they still call me Bruce, the second one that Joycelyne wrote, and you'll have a great time. Now, was Kung Fu the first thing that you did coming back?
No, I did a whole bunch of episodics. You know, I did like, I don't know, Fall Guy, The Magician, Golden Girls. I just did a whole bunch of Young and Restless. I did a few of those. I was on Days of Our Lives. I don't know. I just worked a lot on these little episodic things.
What did you do in the
That's how I
Golden
got
Girls?
into
I haven't seen that, but I know you were on
I
there.
played a hooker. I get typecast a lot as a hooker. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I guess I don't look wholesome.
You look wholesome to me, but yeah, I can see.
Thank you.
But you're beautiful and you got a great body, so I can understand. Like, oh wow, maybe, but because I watched last night, I watched the Big Brawl.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen before, which was Jackie Chan's first American movie.
Yeah, we shot that in San Antonio.
And people think that Jackie Chan's been a star in the United States forever. That's not true. It took him like 20 years to break into the United States.
He was a big star more in the Orient.
Right. He was a big star in Hong Kong and China. And in the early 80s, they filmed The Big Brawl. And you play hooker.
Yeah, I play a lot of hookers. I told you that. It's just weird because to tell you the truth, I don't drink or do anything like that, but I just look like I do. I've had people come up to me when they're stoned and they go, "You're the only person I can communicate with when I'm stoned." I was like, "Is this a good thing or a bad thing?" I don't know.
I can relate. Yeah, I can relate. I'm usually the designated driver, so I'm usually a sober person, but for some reason, people that are really, really fucked up have a real connection with me and like hanging out with me more than the drunk people. But so how was Jackie Chan? I mean, it was his first American movie. He was trying to break in. I'm sure he was under pressure.
He didn't speak English that much. He used to come in on the set and he'd go, "Hi, honey." And, I don't really speak Chinese. I speak French and Spanish. And they said, "Can you speak Chinese?" Well, of course, I know one thing, and it says, "I don't speak Chinese" in Chinese. So they go, "Speak to him." And I didn't really know who he was at the time, right? So I went up to him. I said, "Lom sik gong tawa," which means I don't speak Chinese. And they go, "Do you understand her?" And Jackie goes, "Oh, yes. Oh, yes." And so he never gave it away. The fact that I don't really speak Chinese, but I didn't have to anyway, so it didn't really per se matter. But you try to be as like versatile, and you try to say you could do whatever they want you to do. You try to say, I try to, just learn if I don't know how to speak something because I've done like a lot of accents, because for some reason people think, because I'm Asian, I had to do a Japanese accent with a movie with Chad McQueen. And it was like, I won a contest. They ran a contest in all the schools in Japan. And the prize was a trip to Europe. And I don't even, speak Japanese, but I can speak a little bit. And when I do a geisha job, this lady goes, do you speak English? And I go, yes.
Now,
So
what's the difference between?
Fun. I have fun just, pretending I don't speak English and stuff. It's crazy, a little bit crazy, but that's me.
Now, what's the difference between a Chinese accent and a Japanese accent?
Japanese accent is like they say, like sister, they go shishita, and they talk sort of slow like that. But when I do Chinese, it depends on because I always have to do an accent, and I used to get pissed off. I used to go, why do I have to have an accent? But then my friend said there are people that have accents, and so you're just doing a job. So then I realized, okay, like if you come from Hong Kong, they have British sound, Chinese with British sound for Hong Kong accent. It's just crazy. It's just, you just add a little spin to it,
Right.
Just like if you were doing a Southern accent, if you did a drawl, but if you did a Texas, you'd have a little throat sound to it. There's a Texas accent, and then Southern accent with a drawl, it depends on where they're from and how they talk, and also the age of the character. Like if you do a sweetly low British lady, she could have a really nice accent like that. But if you did an Oxford accent, it would be more, like that, so they're all different. It all depends on where they're from and how old they are, and also, where they were born and all that. So I try to change the accent up depending on what I have to do. It's fun.
That's
Well,
very.
yeah, what were you gonna say, Nicole?
I said that was very impressive.
Oh, wait till you see. Oh, I have a movie that came out Tuesday, and I play a zombie, and it's really scary looking.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that. That's Amityville Uprising.
Yes, my friend saw it. I haven't even seen it yet, but my friend works at Unified Pictures, and he goes, "Were you in Amityville?" It just came out that day, and he already saw it.
Well, you're
But I think it's at
all over the
Walmart.
trailer. You're
I
all
am?
over the trailer. Oh yeah, have you seen the trailer?
No.
You're all over it.
Oh, I didn't know
'Cause
that.
I think, I haven't seen the movie, but it's implied in the trailer that you're the first one that gets infected.
That's true.
Okay,
It is true.
Yeah, trust me, you're all over the trailer.
Oh, well, I went, they had like fake skin, because they had all this skin on me. It was hanging down. And I said, well, don't pull it because, it rips your hair out. So I said, just cut it. So I had pieces of flesh hanging from my forehead, and I had to get gas on my way home. And I had like blood marks, and I'm in line getting gas, and people are looking at me, and I'm like, what?
I'm surprised. In LA, I thought that people would that'd be everyday occurrence.
Well, it was kind of in the outskirts. It was more in the valley, like they're not quite as used to. Although you'd be surprised what you could do, because my magician, he was dressed as a leprechaun one day, and he said he went to the post office. Nobody blinked.
Yeah, it's true. But the valley, they have real zombies there, so that may explain it.
It was a makeup very hard, guts and stuff, and lots of blood, lots of blood.
Well, I can't wait to see it. And it's funny, just as we talked to our mutual friend Dustin Ferguson, because he has an Amityville movie too. It's just, I guess, it's the name of a town, so you can make any movie you want based,
Yes.
just put Amityville in it.
Well, this is a trilogy. Thomas Churchill's the director, and he made 3 different ones. And I think I'm in the last one, because there's 3 different ones. One was a nun one, and one was I don't know. I didn't see all of them. So I just know that there was 3 of them that he did. But they had really good makeup artists because, I do more beauty makeup, and
Yes.
they were doing I can do some gutsy stuff because remember when I was with you, I did that scarring thing. The guy
Sure.
had the fish that hit him or the shark that hit him.
Right.
I like bruising. It's fun.
I'll bet. But but you were featured a lot in Kung Fu with David Carradine.
Yeah, that was the largest part ever written for a female on that show. Oh my God, it was so nerve-wracking because I was pregnant, I was crying, they were trying to kill my father. I mean, all these misfortunes happened to me. And you know how when
You're
cry,
pregnant for real or on the show?
Oh, on the show.
Oh, on the show. Okay.
So far, so good. No, but I actually, I had a sore rib from sobbing so much. And then I was going like this, and so it was pretty strenuous. It's not easy being so emotional, that much.
I can imagine. And David Carradine, another eccentric kind of guy.
Oh yeah, I told him the reason he looked Asian because he couldn't open his eyes. Because he was on stuff, I'm sure. I mean, he could.
How did he react to that?
Well, I think he was so, kind of out of it at the time that he didn't really maybe get the joke of it, but I don't know. But we did some scenes where he couldn't remember his lines, and I was trying to say them to him behind, I'd go, okay, it's not. Yeah, I did that a few times, and then I had this one pickup scene, and it was really sad, and I was like begging him and crying, and he was eating an apple while I was doing my scene, crunching an apple in my ear. So I just had to really focus. I just really, bring it home, just bring it home.
Well, now we know where you learn how to handle guys like Andy Dick, because sounds like David Carradine and he had a lot of similar qualities.
Well, he was interesting. It was a really, really good part though, because I was so in the whole movie, TV, it was like, I was there for 13 days for an episodic. That's a long time.
That's good.
But it was really, really, it was difficult. And the thing is, I didn't want to say anything, but I had a fever. I was really sick when I did that because I was so worried about my part that I made myself sick. So now I don't do that anymore. I just go, okay, whatever happens, I'm just going to do it.
Right. Just pretend to be sick. It's better that way.
So I was wearing a full sweater underneath my blouse. So if I looked fat, that's why. Because
stop it. You're worried about looking fat over about a show that was 30 years ago? Come on. Relax.
It was baby fat. That's what it was. Just baby fat. It wasn't me.
Can you believe this vanity, Nicole?
I don't think she has anything to worry about.
Right, because you have a calendar out, you model, and you started burlesque dancing.
Oh yes, this is funny
recently.
Because it was. I went to Scotland. I did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Oh wow, how was that? I've always wondered.
It was a blast. There were like 4,000 different entertainers. But what happened was, I did Big Spender, and I was wearing a Fredericks of Hollywood suit, and I stripped it off. And guess what? Somebody stole my suit.
Oh man,
not the bottoms, but the top. It was a leopard trim black knit, and it said Fredericks of Hollywood inside. And I kept thinking maybe they'll return it. I went back to the dressing room for a week, and nobody returned it. They didn't take the skirt. They probably couldn't fit their big butt in it because the skirt was really
Scotsman.
So that happened. That was one of my casualties.
Now, what were you doing the May East show there, or what were you doing there?
No, I was doing burlesque, like stripping.
Okay.
I do diamond. Well, I do Marilyn Monroe also. So I have a blonde wig and I have a whole Marilyn outfit, and I was doing diamonds are a girl's best friend. So I was doing that one, and then I was doing Big Spender too, like sort of Shirley Bassey.
Right.
Because I like both. I like to do the dumb blonde. I know it's kind of weird. Oh, did you know I did a homage to Angelyne?
Well, I was going to get to, see, you're way ahead of me on all of these things. I was going to ask you about Angelyne because I know you do graphics work for her.
I do all her printing and her t-shirts, and she's one of my best friends now. In fact, in back of her business card, she writes, printed by Final Print, my phone number. And I'm also going to be in her documentary. She's written a documentary and it's pretty fun. And she talks about, you know, things she's done, and she used to sing, and she's really super nice. And we have like I was with her on Thanksgiving. I was with her on Christmas. And so
Really?
yeah.
What is Christmas like with over Angelyne's house? Angelyne, by the way, if people don't know, has had billboards in LA for since the 80s, and she's another, I'd love to have her on the show. She's another Hollywood original that just she was kind of the proto Kardashian. She was famous for being famous.
Absolutely.
I saw her in her little pink convertible yesterday, actually.
In
She still
Malibu?
drives around with it.
Yeah.
She lives in kind of Malibu, I think.
No, she was in Hollywood, but I saw her. Like, you
Her
can't
office
mistake
is
that.
in
Her plate actually says Angelyne on it.
Yes. And we
I know
spell our last
she
part of
gives
our name
away,
the same.
she sells rides and gives away rides for you can ride with Angelyne for a while. I was at one of Lenora Claire's get-togethers, and I won a free ride with Angelyne, but we never got it together. Of course, she'll sell you all the stuff that you printed when you're on the ride. But I met her, and she was very nice, and you know, very briefly just said hi to her. And but what is Thanksgiving and Christmas like at Angelyne's house? Is everything pink?
We just ordered, you know, she ordered food to come in. It was at her office. Her office is all pink and leopard. And it's funny because my toolkit, remember you saw my gear, and it was pink and leopard also, but I didn't know that. It's just a coincidence. And our name is spelled Lyne at the end. So
right,
the same back spelling.
Your sisters, and you know, I both still beautiful eternally.
Well, I'm the dark side, she's the light side.
But that's why you're here.
Yeah, see?
But so, and you also, I mean, you when I say you have a printing business, I mean, you've done printing for not just Angelyne, but Bon Jovi, Chaka Khan, like big stars.
Yes, I've done Paris Hilton. I've done tons of headshots for different celebrities. You know, I did Leonard Nimoy, Martha, what's the name? Martha, the singer. She died. Martha Ray.
Martha Ray, okay.
I actually went to her wedding at the Friars Club.
Oh, I remember that one.
Were you there?
I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about it. She married a younger guy
that sang, you know, so he wanted to be in, you know, singing and stuff. It's very interesting because I ran into a lot of adventures that way.
Yeah, a lot of people that
Oh, Derek, I did a movie with, and she sent John Corbett, who she was, you know, dating and living with, I think. But I did all his pictures, and he had a cowboy band, and he sent me a black and white picture. So I said, you know, it'd be really cool to sepia tone it and make a sloppy board like an old time tintype. And so then I got Western type, and I did several pictures. And then he said, Bo likes it. Do you want to talk to her? Nah, who wants to talk to Bo? Yeah, okay, I'll talk to her. And so yeah, we did a movie called Shattered Image, and I played the other woman, and I made her cry. And I just made Bo Derek cry. I was having like an affair with her husband, who was John, what was his name? The guy from Uncle, the blonde who played Ilya Kuryakin. What's his name?
The name escapes me, but I know who you're talking about.
You know who he is. Oh my God, I can't remember. It's just weird. Anyway, so she came in, and then he shoot her out, and she goes, it was just funny because, I mean, who would have thought that I'd ever get a part like that? But once again, I was the other woman, and I was, you know.
Well, but then again, you're so beautiful. You're the woman that somebody would cheat on Bo Derek.
Well, I don't know. She's pretty famous.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, somebody that, which goes to show you that I forget who had said it, but they said that there's always somebody, no matter how beautiful a woman was, there's Chris Rock said it. No matter how beautiful a woman is, there's always somebody that's tired of them. But
It's so sad. It's so sad.
I don't agree with that. But if I had somebody as beautiful as you or Nicole or Bo Derek, I'd be content. But
yeah,
that's just,
why not, right?
But
well, she's a very, very sweet. Bo Derek's very, very sweet because she sent me a ton of different clients, and I thought that was so nice of her.
But I mean, if people like Paris Hilton and Bon Jovi are using your services, Bo Derek, John Corbett, you know what you're doing.
Well, I've had
that's quality.
I do also Jeff Dunham's tour books.
Right.
I like Jeff Dunham. He's funny.
Yeah. And so I have a lot of, sometimes I run into people just at parties and then they come over and get pictures, you never know. But of course now there's not as much, more like fan pictures are what I'm doing because that's when they need pictures. Before the internet, they used to need headshots just to get a job, but now it's more for fans.
Now, what did you do on Punky Brewster? That's what I want to know.
I was their teacher.
You were Punky Brewster's teacher?
Now, Punky, sit down. I had a different voice. I have all these different voices. I used to do, I don't know if
Was
you remember.
Punky a little brat, that Punky?
No. I've met her several times.
No, I mean, on the show, she was like a little brat and you had to keep her in line.
Well, no, this was a cartoon show, actually.
Ah.
So it was just my voice. And I played an 80-year-old lady on Rambo. Rambo, could I have a ride on your motorcycle? So I just get all kinds of different things where you don't even know it's me. It's like crazy. And they had me do a baby voice on the other show. And I had to sing a baby song too.
And not only that, you were on, I watched your reel.
And, you did?
Yeah, I watched your reel, and
You're so thorough.
I try. I mean, I trust me. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. You got so much stuff going on, but I saw the clip from you and the Jeffersons. You were hitting on George Jefferson.
You know how I got that part? I interviewed to be a mother, and they said you just don't look matronly, and they said. But they had a girl in the bar and I didn't even audition. They just called me directly. And I was like, that's why it pays just to go in because you never know. They will remember you. And,
right.
I also am a hand model. I did the Pillsbury doughboy. I punched him in the tummy.
Wait, you were the one that, wait. You were the one that did that?
I'm not the only finger, just so you know. I'm sure there's other fingers, but I was one of them.
That's great. That's some fun
what
stuff.
a life. What a career.
Also, I did Kim Basinger's billboard because I'm a leg model. Remember on Sunset Boulevard, that billboard that said my stepmother's an alien?
Right. The movie, My Stepmother's an Alien.
It was all lit up.
Those aren't her legs. Those are your legs?
Yeah. And my hands and legs. Yeah. And I did Sarah Jessica Parker's Hands in Ed Wood. And so I've done, because, I don't like to be limited to just being Asian, and my fingers weren't slanted, so I figured, why not? No.
You must have nice. Let's see those hands. You must have really beautiful hands. Look at those.
These are real nails, actually. I know it's weird because I've always had long nails since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
But my nail bed, see how low it is? I mean, in other words, my nails aren't really as long as they look, but because my nail bed is low, it makes my nails look long. But I also did hands for Barbie. So what I do is I just cut my nails down and just put clear. And then I could do little kid hands too. That's what.
Now, when you say you do nails for Barbie, what do you mean?
I did a commercial where I was a little girl's hands and I was going, get up, get up, get up.
Wow. This is blowing.
But I played
the stuff
Barbie.
that you've done is blowing my mind.
I played Barbie at Universal Studios tour. I played a Dana doll. It was like a rocker Barbie. Right. And we had to dance and sing Think Pink, Born with a Mic in My Hand. Very classic Barbie bubblegum songs.
Now, I mean, you have better legs than Kim Basinger, apparently.
Well, I have a weird thing about my legs. I have a rounded kneecap. my knee bone doesn't stick out. It's just the way I was born. And it seems to be helpful for parts of knees.
Right. Well, why would Sarah Jessica Parker need a hand model?
Well, I don't think she wants, you remember that's the script called Glenn or Glenda?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Well, that was me holding the script because I think maybe they just wanted to add these things and maybe they're not going to have her come back and do these, things.
Okay. So just an insert
And then
shot.
I also body doubled for Leah Remini.
Oh, really?
It was a fantasy thing and I was wearing a garter belt and and this guy was like undressing me in his brain when we were in the car, and then he had this fantasy thing and that happened. But ironically, I got a call from the director and he started fantasizing while he was editing my body double. And then he wanted to go to dinner and I was trying to explain to him, no, I'm just, this is just fantasy. This is like, it's always better in Kodachrome, in your brain. But if you really meet the person, there's probably nothing there. It's just, and so I was trying to explain to him that, sometimes people get caught up in, even though they're producers and even directors, and even though they know it's fake, they do get, sometimes.
Well, I mean, this kind of begs the question. You've been an attractive woman in Hollywood for years. Is the casting couch and the Me Too, is that all, you experienced all that, or you cut it off?
No, I haven't really had any bad experiences, but maybe it's because of my martial arts. No, I have.
Another hashtag.
Had any, no, I really haven't had any. I've had some awkward things, but I'm so used to being with, guys that I know that I just know how to wiggle out of things without insulting them to make, I'm like, oh, that is so flattering. I am so flattered. That is so nice. And this guy goes, you're darn tootin' it is.
So you've been hit on, but nothing
bad happened, except one time somebody came in at night and I was by myself and he actually got physical and slapped me across the face. But luckily I had a phone in my kitchen and I called my girlfriend, and then he goes, he heard it and she goes, why are you calling me at 3 a.m? Is something wrong? I go, yes. And she goes, is somebody there that you don't want to be? I go, yes. She goes, should I call the police? I go, I would if I were you. And so that's what happened.
And I would imagine tons of younger men that hit on you now.
Oh yeah. It was crazy because, they don't have a clue.
Or maybe they do.
Well, I don't know. Or maybe they don't care. I don't know. Maybe,
you sell a lot of calendars to a lot of men.
Well, I actually, sold a few this week, but I haven't sent them out yet because people just give me their credit card and they email me. And then I just go, okay, I'll mail it to you. And I autograph it. And last year I sold completely out of all of them, but I have one left and it's on my refrigerator, and it's the one with the Angelyne cover.
Oh, wow.
Did you see that one?
I don't think I saw that one. But...
It's right there. I'm just going to show you what I look like as Angelyne.
Yeah, please.
Because, I do makeup.
I know from personal experience. Anyway, she's getting the Angelyne calendar. This is
it's interesting because
look at that.
I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. That's great.
I see it. That's Angelyne right there. So talk while you're showing that.
Oh, well, this is me as Angelyne.
Well, that's you. I was going to say Angelyne looks great, but that's you.
It's me, but
I
wanted to. She didn't like the way she was being portrayed in this Netflix series, and she goes, the girl's got a big nose and she doesn't even look like me. Why don't you look like me? And I go, okay, I'll look like you. So, I do hair and makeup, so I make myself look like all these different characters. So my calendar has all these different movies and characters and things that I make myself look like, which is like, this is when I went to Edinburgh. I did, I got this vintage dress. It was 1950s Sophia Loren kind of thing. And
nice
so I bought the dress and the hat in Scotland. So no, I've got the Scottish brogue.
That's cute. Very breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah. So I just like making different characters, and it's fun. So I never know. And then this dress, I got this for $3. And I only had one glove that was black and one that was white. So I just, and And it was real graffiti. It was in Vegas. We shot that in Vegas.
Well, we're teasing everybody for a calendar they can't buy, but
Well, I got a new one.
2023 will be rolling around, so.
Well, I got the new one and I started sending that out last week.
Yeah. So you'll have to wait till 2023, and I'm sure it'll be well worth it. I don't know
Well,
where
no,
this
I
hour
have
went.
2022 already because this is
Okay.
2021. But then
Okay.
I'm working on the next year and it's going to be really cool. We're going to do old time Hollywood looks, you know, like Hollywood old time actresses. I'm going to make myself look like all these different people like I do. It's kind of weird how I make myself look like so many different people. I've been at parties, they don't even recognize me. I even had, you know, when I Mae West or Mae East.
Right, May East. I've actually seen the act. It's very funny.
They don't recognize me sometimes. I write all my own comedy too.
That's good. And when you're at burlesque, I'm sure people are surprised. They don't recognize you.
Well, that was weird because I had a house guest and I invited her to see my show downtown. And when I started stripping, she was shocked. She wasn't expecting that. She goes, she's from England. She said, I didn't expect you to do that. I didn't know. I was like, oh, I didn't think of telling her because I just thought everybody knew what burlesque was.
Well, there's one more movie I have to talk about because you've been on, and I want to have you back because I want to talk about Married with Children. I want to talk about all this other stuff that you've done. I want to talk about your comedy. I want to talk about all this stuff. But you were in the movie Samurai Cop 2 with Tommy Wiseau, who was the mastermind behind The Room.
Yes.
Did you have any scenes with that guy?
I didn't have any scenes with him, but he is very strange, but he's very, very interesting guy.
I've met him, but tell us a strange story about Tommy Wiseau. I got to hear this.
Well, I didn't work with him personally. I didn't have any scenes with him, but I know my friend did. And she didn't tell me anything though interesting about him. I don't know much about him other than
okay. So she just said
who he was. Because also remember James Franco was in the same movie, The Room, and my dad was in Pineapple Express with James Franco.
Wait a second, your dad was in Pineapple Express?
Yes.
You peel the onion and things just keep going. Well, your father was in Pineapple Express?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta watch that now.
Well,
so your father's still acting?
Much. It was just a quick thing. It was when they went to visit the grandma. And the thing is, my dad wasn't really an actor, but he just had a really good look. And so I saw an article in the LA Times that said about this agent that handled older people. And I said, I knew her. And I said, hey, my dad's really cute. So I sent her his picture. And she said, your dad's really popular. And he was getting commercials. And he was on the Nick Kroll show. He was on all these things. Wow. It was crazy. And so, yeah, I just kind of let him have a career because my mother had passed away and I was trying to keep him occupied.
I'll bet he had a blast doing all this stuff, right?
And he's very funny. My dad is a natural.
It sounds like it. If he's on the Nick Kroll show and the Pineapple Express, that sounds great. You gotta help me find an agent. Oh my goodness. That's
for sure, yeah.
Are you guys both into comedy?
No,
Nicole's a writer.
I am a writer, but you know, I think Mark could definitely he needs to be discovered.
Yeah, we'll have to put him on my cooking show.
Well, yeah, I want. Yeah, we could both come on and cook. Spaghetti, whatever you want. I don't care. But that spaghetti was just my mouth was watering. I don't know where this hour went, Joycelyne. I definitely want to have you back, but please tell us everything that you've got going on, which is going to take a while, and how people get a hold of you, your website, your social media, all of that stuff.
Okay, well, my website is my name, JoyCelyne.com. That's simple. It's like Angelyne, but Joycelyne, Joycelyne.com. Yeah. And I've got I already kind of told you what I'm doing, but I've got
Amityville Uprising just came out. Check that out.
That's at Walmart already. Somebody just showed me that they're selling it already.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on VOD and streaming and all that.
I have a streaming show on. It's called what's it called? It's called that other webshow.com. And that's when I'm playing this rough and tumble kind of biker girl named Michelle. And that's Neptune 9 is episode 11, and a bunch of ones it's called Road Rage Kitty. That's the one he just told me about today. And then
now,
of course
what's the rough and tumble biker voice? I got to hear this.
It's kind of like tough like that, you know, because I have like a heavy duty voice that's kind of tough, kind of rough, you know. It depends. I have to see, you know, whatever depends on the script. But I do a soothing voice. I used to do, remember Select TV?
Mm-hmm.
I did all the promos. Robert Redford directs an adult fairy tale, The Milagro Beanfield Wars.
That was you too. Oh my God.
That was me too. I know, right? It's crazy. I know, it's really crazy because I do so many things. My friend said, I better leave before I buy something else. And she literally said that to me once because, you know, I have just all these jobs. And so I have Cooking In with Joycelyne. It's on YouTube, but it's also on Amazon Prime, my first season. And then I have the calendar, which you could buy on my website. And then I have this children's educational puppet show called Imagica, Imagica. And I play Sally the Mermaid. And I also play baby voice, just a different bunch of things. That's at Imagication Studios. That's what that's on, Imagication Studios. So we're really excited because we just got a studio and we're going to be doing some more. I've done 8 episodes so far of that.
That's great. As we've seen, you are a master of disguise, a master of voices, and you make all of us look lazy by comparison. Nicole, for what it's worth, tell us what you got going on and how people get a hold of you.
Well, I'm still working on my poetry book, which will be out soon, sometime this year. And I'm Nicole 6 Books on TikTok and Instagram, and Nicole H6 on Facebook.
And I'm Goth Comedian on all social media. I had a blast. Nicole, did you have a blast?
It was super fun. I can't wait to have her back.
Yes. And Joycelyne, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye.
Creepy.